Polo shirt, no jacket. Last night, nobody was wearing a jacket.
2 weeks.
I don't need any papers.
No.
Number two, I mean, that's Henry, that's with Henry.
You can give it to me in those.
So she's going to hold
You
it.
know what? When she comes here, she's in that Changsang. Just tell her what to do.
And then, but we need somebody to hold that side here, on that end, because you're going to hold this end.
Yeah.
And then somebody hold that end.
Can I have
Anybody.
1, 2, 3, 4?
Be able to contemplate and reflect on the history of immigration to Hawaii by literally everyone who has come here. When these islands were thrust up out of the sea by the most elementary physical action on our planet, volcanic eruption, from the very core of the earth, there were no human beings here. There were no plants, there were no animals. Literally everything in Hawaii has come from across the sea, here to paradise. It's as if paradise was created and then awaited the various species, including our own, to come here and be stewards of paradise. And in the course of those events and in all those years, Sun Yat-sen came among us, and the Sun family came among us. And they were infused with the spirit of aloha that has characterized all of us here in paradise throughout the generations. Sun Yat-sen said, "This is my Hawaii. Here I was brought up and educated, and it was here I came to know what modern civilized governments are like and what they mean. To understand is hard, but once one understands, action is easy."
众所周知，孙中山是近代中国伟大的革命家。孙中山为什么要进行革命？这就要从当时中国的国内状况和国际地位讲起。孙中山出生于1866年，当时清朝的政治非常专制腐败，官吏贪污，绝大多数中国人极为贫困，没有任何法律保障的权利，随时会受到拘捕、刑讯甚至杀害。当时欧美国家已经走上现代化的道路，而中国在经济、政治、军事、文化、科技等方面越来越落后。中国一再被外国侵略，腐败的清政府不能抵抗，被迫签订屈辱的条约，割地赔款，中华民族的地位和尊严受到严重的损害。于是，孙中山在青年时代便立志要救中国。
Earlier this week, the Sun family dedicated a statue to Sun Mei in Maui. And Sun Mei came, I think 1871 to Hawaii first. Came as a laborer, got into agriculture, became one of the prominent businessmen. And his business acumen, even though he had no formal training, was legendary, not only in Hawaii, but in China. So many people thought they would like to come to Hawaii to make their fortunes.
People who come from one country to another and do amazing things. And of course, Sun Mei was one of those examples of a village boy who came all the way to Hawaii. And well, he couldn't, I mean, because of the racism and other factors in the United States at that time, you know, he was forced to go to Maui, to what was at that time a sort of remote island, and he eventually bought some land and did some amazing things with it. It became very, very wealthy, and that, of course, was one of the backbones of Sun Yat-sen's efforts. I mean, we've known for many years that Sun Mei supported Sun Yat-sen financially, brought him to Hawaii, gave him an education. But what we didn't know was the extent to which Sun Mei supported the revolution. In other words, his support was not merely financial and moral, but it was also political, and he actually participated in many of the political organizing, both in China and in Hawaii, that really made this revolution possible.
Now, Sun Mei is not the only one who contributed to the revolution. In fact, throughout my research, we found many other Chinese, Japanese, American, particularly Huaqiao, overseas Chinese living in Hawaii, Malaysia, Japan, all donated a lot of, not only money, but some of them sacrificed their lives and the whole, the family, the children sacrificing in the revolution. So this is really touching. In fact, I think a lot of work should be done and must be done by some people, continually doing research on this respect to find out some of the work done by these overseas Chinese.
1894年，孙中山上书李鸿章失败。这个时候，他对如何改造中国有了一个新的定义。他决意到檀香山来，集结力量，筹经费，发动反清起义。
1894年11月，孙中山在檀香山建立了革命团体兴中会，提出振兴中华的口号，决志推翻清朝，仿效美国建立一个共和国政府。在檀香山参加兴中会的多数是广东籍华侨，其中有孙中山的长孙孙梅。
檀香山华侨社会是孙中山发展革命的基础和革命救国的依托。檀香山的华侨为孙中山提供了接触、认识、了解华侨社会、华侨心态，发掘华侨社会革命潜力，引导华侨走上革命爱国道路的机会。在檀香山华侨感召下，世界各地的华侨头角而起，为中国革命建立了不朽的功勋。
当年孙中山在檀香山创立兴中会时提出的振兴中华，已成为永远激励中华民族奋斗的口号。孙中山希望中华民族对世界的发展、世界和平做出更大的贡献。他要联合世界上平等待我之民族共同奋斗，建立一个各民族平等的新世界。孙中山强调中华民族热爱和平，强调要弘扬中国固有的文化，强调要学习外国的长处，学习要帮助弱小民族。孙中山一再说过，以后中国强大了，也一定不能实行霸道，一定要平等对待其他国家和民族。这也是孙中山留给中国和世界的一份珍贵遗产，在今天更有特别深远的意义。
在夏威夷，孙中山深受林肯、华盛顿关于社会、政治、经济见解的影响，并且在后来檀香山组织的兴中会誓词中体现为以美国合众共和为蓝本的革命目标。早期孙中山思想的萌芽主要受达尔文思想的影响，主要体现在他在为当局建言兴利除弊改革的上书李鸿章一文。从改革到革命，孙中山又从易经中吸取了思想营养，将生物自然化的进化论公理加以人生为革命顺服天而顺乎人。我认为孙中山早年在乡间私塾所学的中华文化核心理念天下为公和西学第一站有良理教会有学校传授的平等自由博爱观念，是孙中山思想的两条根。孙中山民生主义思想同时也来自俄国克鲁泡塔金的互助论。孙中山指出，物种以竞争为原则，人类则以互助为原则。人类顺其原则则昌，不顺此原则则亡。
That is the contribution of Dr. Sun Yat-sen in the Shanghai Revolution. It's not that he did it by himself, but that he was able to organize people's thoughts, inspire them, and move people in one direction towards one goal, which is the overthrow of the Qing dynasty, but also the goal of building a new China.
孙中山奔走于世界各地，在华侨中宣传革命主张。孙中山又领导了多次武装起义，这些起义一次又一次的失败了，但振奋了人心。社会舆论越来越倾向于革命。1911年10月10日，革命党人在湖北武昌发动起义，其他省纷纷响应，革命浪潮很快席卷全国。
Of the people, by the people, and for the people 的话相通。这句话的中文意思没有适当的译文，兄弟就把它译作民有、民治、民享。Of the people 就是民有 ，by the people 就是民治 ，for the people 就是民享。林肯所主张的这个民有、民治和民享主义，就是兄弟所主张的民主、民权和民生主义。
And it didn't end in 1911, because as most of you know, Sun Yat-sen became the first president on January 1st, 1912, but within a few months he had to give up power to Yuan Shikai, because Yuan Shikai said, well, if you don't follow me, I'm going to use the army to overthrow you.
辛亥革命推翻了皇帝，建立了民国。在民国以后，孙中山继续为维护国家的统一、维护共和制度而斗争。从1917年起，孙中山先后3次在广州建立革命政权，反对北方和南方的军阀。1924年，孙中山在广州改组了国民党，创立了新的革命军队，实行扶助农工的政策。1925年3月12日，孙中山逝世于北京，但革命形势继续发展。
Back and see Dr. Sun Yat-sen as the father of the nation. He truly is the father of the nation and the man and the revolution that laid the foundations, not just for the China up to 1949, but for the China of today. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. I think here I'd like to thank all the speakers to give us at least some basic knowledge of Sun Yat-sen now, and the Sun family. Now, Sun Yat-sen is not only about revolution. Sun Yat-sen is also about building a country, like Greg is saying. One of his greatest documents in the history of China is the document he wrote about the general scheme of building China, 建国大纲. And I think the original handwritten document is now in Taiwan. And I think you can see the progress made in Taiwan in the last 50 years or so, and also the progress you can see being made in China in the last 20 years or so. A lot of these policies were carried out based on Dr. Sun Yat-sen's 建国大纲.
世界上头一等的强国。那么为什么我们这个国家现在变成这个地步呢？这个是我们这个国民最重要的。我们是中国人，应该要赶快想想法子，怎么样来挽救？大家要醒醒醒醒。